Today, I'm listening to a lecture that I gave 7 years ago. It was so beautiful because I was in this community of women. They are very humble. They don't have many means or possibilities to do things, to have things available to them. So these women are trying to learn a profession so they can help their families, maybe provide for the house. Many have husbands in prison. And when I went there, I had just become a coach, and I was giving a challenge that I had to find a speaking engagement to talk to people. And I offered myself to go there, and I did. It was so good because it really felt deep in my heart how I was truly helping people and how this is all I'm interested in, really helping people. There's so many of us that have gone through so much in our lives, and sometimes we get stuck. Sometimes we don't know what to do. Sometimes we feel there is no end. It's a dead end. Sometimes we feel it's not possible for us. I understand you. I've been there too. And don't take me wrong, don't think like I got it all figured out, because many times today I still feel this way, depending on the challenge that happens, depending on what's going on in my life, or depending what's presented to me. And it can be daunting. I get it. There is so much that I have learned in my journey. I have studied so much, have done so much research. Today, things are much easier. You can read easier. You have access to information, to data, to opinions, to everything you want, to courses, to online stuff. Back in the day, it was not like that. Books were only available like physically, like a physical book. You had to really go to a place and you had to get the book. You had to rent the book or buy the book. And you can buy online. You had to go to a bookstore, which I love, by the way. You had to go to libraries to get a book. And it was a beautiful thing. I love and I'm so grateful that I lived in that lifetime. Things are different. And back then were much more different in Brazil and in the United States. Times were like, let's say 40 years behind we are there compared to when I was born, when I was a child. I say this because I related so much to my mother-in-law, and we are pretty much 40 years apart. And it was beautiful because we had this connection like we were sisters, like we had played together in the backyard, because the toys, the things she did, the responsibility she had in her lifestyle, it was exactly what I have experienced as a child. So we had this beautiful connection. I'm so grateful. She has departed already, and I am just still love that I had this opportunity. But why I'm saying all these things, because, we are not going to have time to make all the mistakes or to figure out everything on our own. There are many people out there that have already gone through things, have already experienced the very thing you are going through right now. And I want you to look for those people. And if you resonate with me, if you feel like you can feel in my message, you can feel in my heart that I'm real, that I'm here for you, that I want to serve you, that I want to help you. And I want to share all those things that I have captured throughout my journey, all this knowledge, all this wisdom that was shared with me through the books, through the trainings, through the people that I have encountered, and all these angels that crossed my path. And I feel so grateful for that. So I think there are a few things that we can start doing immediately that can completely shift our lives. And I'd like to tell you this because I don't want you to be wasting your time. I don't want you to have to go through a course or through whatever it is so you can figure this out. Those are not big secrets, but those things are very powerful and they're real. And I want you to start doing them today. First thing, you can choose to believe in a world of abundance or a world of scarcity. Whatever you choose, it's going to define the rest of your life. So if you believe in a world of scarcity, when there is not for everyone, when there is not enough people, not enough care, not enough love, not enough money, not enough things, not enough jobs, not enough opportunities, that's what's going to dictate your life. If you believe in a world of abundance, if you look at all the trees, the infinite number of leaves, and and they renew as the seasons go, and it's such a beautiful thing. Look at the sky, look at the air, look at the oceans, look at the rain, look at the strengths of the nature. There are 80 billion people in this planet. And every second, a new life is being generated. And the cells in our bodies are being regenerated over and over again. We are renewing ourselves. We are healing. We're restoring to full health all the time. This is one way of doing and seeing things. So gratitude is the big thing that everybody talks about, but people don't understand. If you believe in a world of scarcity, we're always going to be complaining or upset or frustrated about the things you don't have, about what you are not yet, the people that are not around you, or the things that are not in the world. But if you believe in a world of abundance, and if you start seeing all that you are, all that you are capable of, all that you can do, all that you can be, all the things you have, all the things you do, all the people around you, all the blessings and grace of the Lord in your life right now, what happens is when you enter in this state of gratitude, you expand yourself, and all these things are going to just keep coming to you more and more and more. The second thing that I want to tell you is our attitude. Every single day, see, we cannot change our past. We cannot change the fact that people are going to act towards us in a certain way. We cannot change the fact that people are going to say things or do things to us. But what we can do is with what we have, is with our attitude. What is our attitude? It's a choice that we make every day, the way we're going to think, the way we're going to feel, the way we're going to act towards life. In how, regardless what happens to us, see, they would say, believe that life is 10% what happens to us and 92% the way we react to it. I like to say the way we respond to it. It's not really what happened to you, it's the way you respond to what happened to you. Your belief system. What is that? Ever since we were born, even before we were born, there's things, imagine like an iceberg, right? There is the tip of the iceberg and there is underneath the iceberg. Underneath the iceberg is like the 90% of it. Let's create analogy here. Let's say the iceberg is our mind. So what's under the water, let's say it's our subconscious mind or unconscious mind. On the tip of the iceberg is our conscious mind. So everything we learn, when we go to school, books we read, all those things are in our intellectual mind, on the tip of the iceberg, the outside. However, all the experiences we have lived, gone through in our lives, consciously or not, they are deposited underneath the water there in the iceberg. What's the unconscious mind or subconscious mind? So things that happens to us, not only to us, but to our parents while we are in the mom's womb, things that we heard without understanding intellectually, but things that happen in our environment, people fighting, if people that were born in times of war or great distress or poverty or went through a lot of difficult things, until they're an infant, We don't have the top of the iceberg. We don't have the conscious, the intellectual to decide, because the truth is the subconscious mind cannot say no. So everything that happens, you watch a terror movie, it gets stored there. You go through something horrible, it gets stored there. You go through something wonderful, it's stored there. But there is some good news. It doesn't know the difference between what's reality and what's imagined. So we can use this in our favor. If we have something that is really bad that happened to us that we couldn't help ourselves, we can now, using our conscious mind, the tip of the iceberg, to create some experience, something, use our imagination, our higher faculties, to create something that may change the bad experience that we had. That's how traumas are addressed. Of course, there are many different ways and lines that people do that. This is really simplifying this for just explaining purpose here. So if we decide with our attitude, and our beliefs are built based on those values and beliefs that were imprinted in us ever since we were in the womb, ever since we were conceived. But the truth is, there are many things that are still there that no longer serve us. There are many things that are still there that have passed. There are many things that are still there. They're not even our voices. Could be our parents, grandparents, could be doctors, could be teachers, could be religious figures, could be an older sibling, could be people that had somewhat some authority over us, that said things to us that are no longer serving us. So for example, when I was a little child, a small child back in my town, people would not use the word cancer. It was seen and believed as a curse if you said that word. So people wouldn't say that. People would say, oh, did you see so-and-so got that? Or that person died of that. And in their mind, it was like, if you had cancer, you die. Unfortunately, this is still happens nowadays. Yeah, it's a very scary illness, and unfortunately has taken many lives, and is still doing, and it still will do, take many lives. But I want you to know that it doesn't need to be that way. If we believe something, it's going to become your truth. If you believe it is true, it's true. If you believe it doesn't, it isn't, it isn't. Really, the belief system is like our foundation, is like the baseline for our lives, our values, what's important to us. So some people say, oh, it's my family, it's my health, or it's my job, or it's my children, or different people value different things, and it's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just so we understand what's important to some people, and they will all obviously make decisions based on those values and beliefs. Something that really is holding a lot of people back, and it's damaging, and it's really needs to be addressed individually and also as like oneness, like all of us. The healing. How do you do this healing? Through forgiveness. There are so many things that happen in our lives. Things that people did to us, things that people said, experiences that we had, things that we did or that we said, or things that we didn't do, that we didn't say, the regrets. The only way for us to move on is through forgiveness. Many people don't understand this, but forgiveness is like you break the chain to freedom. People that are holding grudge, what happens is, it's like you drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. Forgiveness is the doorway to an abundance, to a life of prosperity. And you really step up to a completely different level of awareness, of understanding. There are many people, they are not even here in this world physical anymore. And there are people that are still upset with them because of something they said or did. Let it go. Let it go. And speaking about letting go, let it go of all the things that no longer serve you. You start with the physical things about, in your environment, around you, in your house, in your office, in your bedroom, in your drawers. And then you start thinking and checking, those updates that run in our cell phones and our computers. We should do that also in ourselves. What are the things that are no longer serving me? What are the thoughts that still happen in my head? They're really not doing anything good to me. And those thoughts create feelings. And those feelings create emotions. And those are going to dictate our behaviors, because the body is nothing else but the instrument of the mind. It's just everything comes to the mind. You gotta press and you gotta express, right? That's how people create anxiety and illnesses in their body, because they have this fear and they keep thinking about worst case scenarios, all these problems. And what happens is they created this state of disease in the body, being anxious about the future, the things they cannot change, they cannot do anything about it, but they're still thinking about it. Imagine bad situations. Remember, the subconscious mind doesn't know the difference between what's real, what's reality, and it cannot say no. So what it happens is it cannot be expressed, so it suppress the body, and all the organs start being diseased, like uneasy. That's why it's called disease, right? And all of this is going to impact our results. So if we have our life based on faith, we believe that things are going to work just fine. If we are facing something, if we have an illness, we are going to be healed, because our body has this power of self-healing. And there is also God, whatever you call energy, universe, infinite intelligence, the superpower, whatever is the name you give to it, it doesn't matter. I was just facing something with this eye here for a week. It was horrible. I had this experience last year, and there was a medication that I used, and I decided I was going to use this medication again, and I did for 5 days as prescribed before, and did nothing to me, didn't help me at all. And I didn't know what to do. And I realized that I was thinking, oh my God, I can't do this. I can't heal this. What's going to happen? Oh my God, I can't. What if I get blind? What, my eyes is going to be bad and all that. And then I was in church, and the priest was just talking about this beauty of the miracle that happens in the Catholic Church, that when Jesus say, when he's having the Last Supper with the disciples, and he break the bread, and he says, so when at the Last Supper, when Jesus holds the bread and breaks it and give it to the disciples and say, this is my body. He's not saying, oh, let's imagine it's my body. He's not saying, oh, it's a metaphor. No, he's saying, this is my body. So as we know, God, the formless substance that is everywhere, it all that is, that I am everywhere. So this is the transmutation of Jesus into the body of Christ. And I thought, and I told myself, yes, Jesus will heal me. As I have the body of Christ, I will be healed. And that's what happened. I had the body of Christ. I set an intention to heal my eye and my throat that was suffering. And I'm healed. My faith has healed me. Are you having faith? Are you believing you can do this? Are you starting your day with the right attitude? Are you forgiving others, yourself? Are you asking for forgiveness? Are you being grateful? Do you believe in a world of abundance? Once you add all these pieces of this puzzle, you're going to truly experience a happy life, because happiness too is a choice, is a decision that you make. Live fully today. If not now, when?